Eric Wimmer here with Wasatch Heat Cable. Hey, today we're going to talk about some topics on how to operate your system. When to turn it on, when to turn it off, what's the best way to use it so you can get the most effectiveness out of the cable, but also conserving energy as much as possible. Those are common questions we get from homeowners, so let's go into some of this stuff. The first thing I want to do is let's explain the house setup. Okay, let's see if this makes sense to you guys. This is your house. This is your attic. This is where heat is generated. This is snowpack on the roof. That's my roof edge and my gutter and downspout. Okay, so first thing you need to understand in how to operate your system is what the purpose of the cable is for. When you have snowpack on the roof, all that snow, as we all know, has to leave the roof and escape somehow. We want it to come down, catch the gutter down the downspout, and control, it's a key point, control where that water goes. But what happens in the wintertime is very different than summer. You get heat loss coming up through the attic, and it starts melting the snow from underneath. As that snow melts and comes down to the eave, this eave right in this zone becomes a cold zone for all that water to refreeze on the eave. As it refreezes, it creates an ice formation, as what we call an ice dam. That water now from the melting snow can't get through the ice. In turn, comes into the house. Okay, so now that we've got that understood as to what the ice dam does and where the water goes, how do we operate our system? If we have snow on the roof, you need to have the heat tape system on. Now, heat tape is not all made the same. You got constant wattage and you got self-regulating. You got different ratings in there. Some work better than others, but I will tell you this, heat cable is not designed to play catch-up. So if you're playing catch-up, you're probably behind the game and you may not see the results you're wanting. So what you need to do is turn the system on before the snow flies, or as it's starting to kick up and you see flurries coming down. One thing I would highly recommend is one of our thermostat controllers, where you can turn that on manually at the beginning of the snowstorm for the season, let it run its course through the season until you see fit to turn the system off. Okay, so let's go back to that turn on stage. When you know snow is here to stay for the season and it's on the roof as snowpack, you're going to turn your system on and let it run until you see that it's done a number here. And that might be only a few days, and you can see that the heat tape has cut some good lines in the eave. It's channeled things off the roof. You might be able to turn it off for a little while, maybe a day or two. But if you start seeing ice build up again, you may not have seen any storms, but the cold temperatures, the heat loss out of the house, snowpack on the roof is going to equal more ice. So you may not see storms, but you still need to turn it back on again when you start seeing ice build up along that eave. Again, when does ice build up? 32 degrees or less. So if you're seeing temperatures below 32 and you've got snowpack on the roof, keep an eye on things and turn the heat tape system on, allowing for all that melt water to find those channels and come down the downspout. Now, when to turn it off? Again, I mentioned you could probably turn it off for a few days in the middle of the season when you've seen it's made some progress. If the ambient air temperature during the day is 35, 40 degrees, you could probably turn it off during that time. Hence, one of those thermostat controllers are really handy during that time. It does it for you. But if you can see you have no snowpack on the roof and your temperatures are warming up, both those scenarios would indicate it's probably a good time you can shut the system off. So understanding this whole system, how the heat loss, snowpack equals ice coming down the downspout, what we need to do is give it a pathway. You might have a better understanding of when to turn your system on and when to turn it off. Keep in mind, not all controllers are extremely effective. Some are better than others. Talk to our representatives, give us a reach out, send us an email, and we'll help you out with any kind of device that you need for your system. So this information, I'm hoping it was helpful. If you like it, subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next take.